Hirschman. So, Tim, I can see that you're there. We are now being recorded, everybody. So again, if you're not speaking, Rebecca, and anybody else, I can see when you're off of mute. So Rebecca, please mute your line and
mute my line. Okay.
Mute that. Yeah, there's a mute button. You see that? There you go. You're muted. Okay, perfect. So without further ado, I am Jeff Albee with my co-host Francisco Williams from the Greater LA chapter of CCIM. And we're going to go right into introducing our sponsor highlighted for this month, which is 10X. They're a great sponsor along with their sister company, CoStar, and there's their logo. Perfect. So Tim, would you like to take the mic for a second, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever, and tell us a little bit about,
yeah, can
10X
you hear me,
and
Jeff?
what the opportunities are? Yeah,
sure.
There you are.
Can you hear me okay? Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll try to keep this short and sweet, and I'll have my contact information distributed after this. So any of you could call me on a one-on-one basis and get more information on how this works and the details. But I'll kind of give you a high-level overview. As Jeff was saying, 10X is part of the CoStar group of companies. We were acquired about 2 years ago. And it's really changed and developed over the last, been around about 15 years now at this point. We spun out of a company called auction.com. So a lot of people tend to think of us as an auction company. That's just a portion of what we do. I like to say we're a transaction platform that uses a auction or live bid mechanism to complete the transaction. Basically, if I was to boil it down, and this is the process. What we do is our platform offers two main things, two really big value adds for brokers and sellers. One is the speed. So our transaction period is very defined, unlike a traditional transaction. There's a start date, there's an end date. It's very rigid. Jeff just went through it. There's on average, if the transaction sells in auction, it's about 100 days on average from start to finish. So if you have a client that needs to sell in a very expedited fashion, this can be ideal for them. We can really control the transaction and the closing as well. So speed is one of the big things. The other thing is certainty of execution, especially with the market we're in right now. Everything that's on our platform, it's a non-contingent, non-negotiable sale. So in our process, if we bring something on during the marketing period, the buyers are required to do all their due diligence prior to coming to the auction or the live bid event. They have to sign a confidentiality agreement. They have to do all the due diligence. If they want to do a property tour, all that is done prior to them participating in the auction. And furthermore, they're financially vetted. We use a PSA that's very, very seller friendly. So it's no contingencies, no finance contingencies, and it's non-negotiable. So if you have a client that is, had problems with falling out of escrow before, or they want an as-is sale, they don't want to deal with contingencies, an ideal situation. You might be thinking, hey, this sounds good for properties from servicers or receivers. It is. We do a lot of work with them as well. So that is basically it. I'll give you a 30-second overview of how it goes from start to finish. The very first thing we do, if you have a client that's interested, we have a team of experts that analyzes the property, comes back, and they'll give us an idea of where we think we should set an undisclosed reserve. The undisclosed reserve is the price that the client is protected at during the auction. So if and when we go to auction, if it doesn't reach that level, the seller is not obligated to sell. On the flip side, if we do reach that pricing, they are obligated to sell. The reason we do that is we want this platform to be fair for both the seller and the buyers. So we want to make sure that sellers that are bringing stuff on have a reasonable pricing expectation. And furthermore, that's the only way we get paid is if the transaction closes. So if we agree upon a undisclosed reserve price, we sign a simple marketing agreement. From there, we go to 45 to 50-day marketing period. That leads to a 2-day live bid auction event, which happens every 2 weeks. And then from there, we go to a 30 or potentially a 45-day close based on your seller. So that is basically it in a nutshell. And the last thing I'll say for you brokers, there's absolutely zero cost to you, and we do not touch your commissions. 10X is only paid in the event of a successful transaction from a buyer fee. So I know I threw a lot at you. Like I said, I'm going to distribute my contact information. Call me. There's no contracts. We'll talk about listings. If it's a good fit, we'll work on it together. If it's not, we'll let you know. So does anybody have any questions or anything I can answer right now?
Well, I can ask you, or at least share with that I've done a couple of transactions with 10X, and they were able to get some really unique bidders to the table and really high level marketing. I know that it ends up going out as a platinum or platinum, I believe, diamond on LoopNet, which really just gives you a bunch of prospects. Even if you don't sell the property, you've got an incredible database when you're done with this process. One deal I did, a little office building in Westlake, office medical. We achieved about 700,000 over the reserve. The other was a shopping center in Westlake Village, also Westlake Village, and we got over $1 million over the reserve, and both clients were very happy. And as the market has shifted, I think this kind of help on getting listings sold is really very important right now. We're going to see a lot of 10X, I'm sure, in the marketplace. And lastly, I will tell you, it's helped me and I'm using it now as a listing tool to help use that process to get listings. Even if they don't put it on 10X, it's just another tool in my toolbox. So I would encourage you to sit down one-on-one with Tim, or at least have a Zoom call to ask him how you might utilize this to get more business.
Yes, I have a question.
Sure.
Tim, do you have, I would say, material for proposals? Like folks that can add this to their proposals while they're pitching for business?
Yeah, I have a number of different pieces I could send over to you. You know, if it could be based on the asset type, or I could send you different pieces of marketing, like kind of to put into your pitch deck. Simple.
I think with a lot of brokers, we're always pitching for business, and if you have it, it's great that you have it tiered, targeted towards different product types, and maybe even some feedback as to how each product type responds to the platform. I mean, again, however we can add this to help us win more business, I think that would be great.
I'll send you guys over some stuff. I think, doing this for a while, and being a broker, recovering broker myself, I think it's really, it's listening to your clients, and when they have certain buzzwords, whether it's speed, whether it's, not wanting to be retraded, there's certain buzzwords that you'll hear during the presentation that I think as a broker, you could say, hey, listen, I have a tool. I know of a way where we can help you achieve those results with no additional cost on the commission side or to you at all. So it's definitely a tool that you can use to separate yourself from the competition and going for a listing. And so, I'll supply you guys with some marketing materials. And if you have any questions on how to present it or how to use it, or if you want something different, just reach out to me. But I'll send that to this is Francisco, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll send it to you and Jeff, and then you guys can distribute.
Yeah, DJ is also copy her.
Okay.
She can distribute it to everybody that's currently on the call. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, the other thing I've found that Tim has been helping me with lately, we've been having him underwrite some of the deals we're underwriting, you know, if nothing else, just to see on, you know, because it can be kind of hard to underwrite deals right now and get values. So kind of get their take. They've got quite an analytical team who happens to have been trained by CCIM
You're correct. Yeah.
through our education program.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is if you have a list, I'm in business development or sales, just like all of us, but I really call myself a market advisor. So if you guys have a listing or potential opportunity, just give me a call. I'll walk you through it. I'll only tell you it's a good fit if I think it's going to work. We're totally on the same page. I don't want you to look bad in front of your client. I don't want to bring something on that's not going to fit. So I'm not going to, push you through this process if I don't think it's a good fit. That's one of the unique things about this job is I'm really just here to tell you if it's a good fit, if it's a good fit for your client, and then we can go through and have it analyzed by our team and see if our pricing recommendations meet your client's pricing expectations, and that's what it's all about. So,
Tim, I have a question for you.
sure.
Once a client starts the process with 10X, are they committed to go through the ending? Or if one of their possible previous buyers were to all of a sudden step up, would they be able to terminate that during the
Well, it's a
process?
good question. Yes, they are committed, but basically, I always say this: if we sign a marketing agreement, that's the agreement that formalizes the relationship. 10X will get paid its buyer's premium fee if it trades, but we do sell. I'd say about 5 to 7% of our listings sell prior to auction. If you're talking somebody, we don't do exclusions or carve outs, right? So if you're talking to somebody previously, they're not going to be excluded from the 10X terms and conditions. The good thing though, I'll say, is a lot of people, especially the first time on the platform, have that concern. What it does, if you have potential buyers that have been sitting on the sidelines, they've been kicking the tires, they've been putting in offers, but have never followed through. One of the big benefits of saying, hey, this listing's going to 10X, it makes people get off their butt and make a decision. It drives engagement. So they no longer have the luxury of sitting on the sideline and teasing your client with potential offers. It makes them get involved. So we see that quite a bit. And that happens, like I said, 5 to 7% of the time.
Great, thanks.
Tim, in the materials you're going to send, will that include what the sliding scale is for the cost to a buyer in a situation like that? Are they going to know how much more they have to pay as a result of it going through 10X?
Yeah. And it's on it's on everywhere on the website. It's on the terms and conditions. Yeah, I'll send you the transaction fee schedule.
Okay. And then are buyers rep brokers involved in the process at all? Are they able to participate in the fees, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's really up to you, your agreement with the seller. So if the broker wants to offer a broker co-op fee, we advertise it. We don't require it. We'll give you recommendations on certain assets. It definitely does help performance, but yeah, we do encourage broker co-op fees. So I'd encourage you, I'll send that stuff out. I encourage you guys just go to the 10X website and jump around and play around. I will send DJ the information to distribute, and then please reach out to me if there's anything I can do, if it's just a simple presentation or a walkthrough or just to have a conversation. I've taken up a lot of your time. I know you guys have an hour. I appreciate CCIM for the partnership and letting us jump on and tell everybody about what we're doing. Keep us in mind and let me know if I can help you guys out.
Can you put your contact information in the chat?
Yeah, I was just going to do that. I'll do that right now.
Perfect. Thanks, Tim.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good one, everybody. I got an auction going right now, so I'm gonna jump here. But I'll send this information out.
Thank you, sir.
Perfect.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, so without further ado, let's go right to our first listing presenter. And we're going to go to Greg Offsay.
Morning, everyone. For those who were on last time, this is a repeat. We're still on the market here. We do have some of those tire kickers that Tim was talking about. We do have actually got an offer in this week as well, but we're still looking for buyers. This is the Ventura Connection Shopping Center at the corner of DeSoto and Ventura Boulevard in Woodland Hills. It sits between Ventura Boulevard and the 101 freeway. You have prime visibility on both the boulevard and the 101. So a lot of eyeballs on this with daytime traffic counts are huge. The projected NOI for 2023 is about $1,126,000. We're looking to sell it for a 5 cap, which would be about $22.5 million. All of those buzzwords that Tim was talking about really apply to this client. They would like a quick transaction, somebody who's not going to play games. We're not looking for someone who is a multifamily developer who wants to buy this and set up a year-long entitlement escrow because they want to develop the 2.5 acres. That's not going to fly with this client. They want someone who's looking at this as an investment property. It's a stable asset with some really good local tenants that serve the community for a very long time. We're very excited about the opportunity here in our local market in LA. I think it could be a really good fit for any of your investor buyers.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a great asset, great location in a real growing market. I know retail is actually in demand. What's your occupancy there? It must be pretty high.
We're at 94% occupancy. We have 1 vacancy on the second floor. A lot of people have been intimidated by the second floor square footage. They don't really like 2-story retail. I'll tell you that all the other tenants on the second floor are very stable. We have a beauty trade school that occupies about half of the second floor that's been in business for many years, and they have multiple locations. And then we have a bridal salon, a wedding dress store that has been in this shopping center and is one of the most notable wedding dress stores in the San Fernando Valley. They've been here for many years. We just moved them from the ground level to the second floor last year. So we have some really good established tenants on the second floor. There is the 1 vacancy. There are, some great other tenants on the ground level. It's a lot of children and family-oriented businesses. We have a gym. We have a large beauty salon. There's a My Gym franchise in the center, pet grooming, all the categories that you could think of for, kind of a neighborhood amenity. It's really, really great tenant mix. We have just under 200 parking spaces between the surface lot and under the buildings. It's a really great asset. The owners put in a good amount of money last year. They re-slurried the parking lot, restriped it. They did some ADA work. They were hit with a nuisance lawsuit, so they had a CASP study done and did some ADA work as a result of that. They repainted the property. It looks really great. Like I said, 94% occupancy. This is a true 5 cap going in on day 1.
Yeah,
great flexibility.
I know the CAS study's really been coming into play lately, and these. Did you get hit by one of those professional attorneys?
Yeah, Yeah, it was,
Or
you know,
should
it
I
was a bit
say
of an-
infamous attorneys?
sure. Yeah, they did. And they acted quickly. They had the CASP study done. They made the changes that they could make and, you know, and worked it out. So it's a great property, really something to look at with any of your investor clients who, particularly exchange buyers who are needing a place, good chunk of money, and want something that's reasonably smooth, you know, property management. You do have a number of tenants. There are 25 units, so you have to, you know, have that. My firm does property management. We don't manage this property currently, but if you have a buyer who's not local to the market and doesn't, you know, have a hands-on management, we'd be happy to take a look at it and offer a pitch for the management as well.
Great. All right. Thanks, Greg. We will move on to our next presenter.
That'd be me.
And he looks very familiar. Go ahead,
If
Greg.
if you're familiar with the Conejo Valley and you drive the 101 freeway, you know this building. It sits right on the 101 freeway. It used to be Spectrum Fitness. Most recently, it was the Athletic Society. The Athletic Society has vacated the building as of a couple months ago. It's a total of 81,994 square feet. That's about 56,600 on the ground, and the balance is a second floor mezzanine. You can see the one photo of the unfinished mezzanine in the bottom corner of the photos. The rest of it is, you know, the gym improvements that are still in place. There's 2 full basketball courts, an indoor swimming pool, a bunch of rooms that they had workout classes in, full locker rooms, male and female, with showers and restroom facilities. This is an ideal owner user play. This is an M1 zoned property, so this could be converted to some sort of flex industrial use pretty easily. Just demo the gym improvements and you have a 56,000 square foot footprint, 24-foot clear heights in the area that doesn't have the mezzanine. It's about 12 and 12 for the area that that is 2 stories. There is a passenger elevator to get to the second level. It's on 8.4 acres. Most of that acreage is the building and the parking lot, and we have a 2-story parking structure. So we have a total of 396 parking spaces. There is a portion of the land that you would own that's along the hillside that's not currently developed. City of Thousand Oaks has really got a spotlight on this. We have a very close relationship with Haider Alawami, who's the director of the planning department, and they really want to see a really good operator come in here. We do have this on the market for lease or for sale. We would entertain either one. Our clients are motivated to make a deal. So we're shooting for a $20 million sale price, $1.50 triple net rent on the whole building. Bring anybody that's looking out that way. It's a really great freeway visible property in off of a service road off Hampshire exit on the 101.
Great. Well, those are a couple of great listings. Those are very high visible properties. Best of luck on that.
Thank you.
All right. So we'll go to the next. Let's see, we've got Mr. Robert Cipollone.
I think he
Are you-
emailed, I think Mark, gentleman Mark is gonna here to represent him.
Okay,
Mark, are you here? Nope. Yeah, he was, I just saw an email come in that he's not gonna be able to make it.
okay. Well, we have seen this one before. it's a development site really is what this is. So if you're a multifamily developer, it's a land cover play. It's got existing, but I think the idea would be to scrape it. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. And that's Robert as well. And that obviously is a user deal, it looks like. So if anybody has got any interest in Palm Springs, whether you want the business or the building, reach out to Robert.
Oh, we'll keep going. Yeah. All right, Rose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you so much for letting me present this morning.
Absolutely.
So this
Good.
is, it's a little owner user office building on Ventura Boulevard. I'm sure anybody, who lives and works here in the Valley is probably familiar. It's near the corner of Corbin. The owner is basically moving into retirement. So he's, as the COVID pandemic went on, he sort of just allowed the tenants to slowly vacate over time. So we have a building primarily vacant with a couple of month tenants. It's got a little live work unit in the back, which is currently occupied, but that tenant is willing to leave if somebody wanted, to take it over. You could also scrape that back building if you wanted more parking. It does currently have 8 parking spaces, and there is parking on the street, as well as the possibility to rent spaces on a month-to-month basis from the shopping center across the street for, $100 a space, more or less. But definitely a great little owner user office building, very good signage on the boulevard. Definitely needs a little work. We do have some flexibility in pricing, and owners motivated, looking to make a deal.
Perfect. Perfect. Now, is that back unit, is that permitted, do you know?
It is, and so thank you for asking that, Jeff, because it's a very interesting story with this building. So as many of you know, buildings of this vintage didn't have like the certificates of occupancy that we have today, but they did have building permits, and so this does show in those early building permits they do have the plans for the front building and the back building. However, way back when, they actually mismeasured the size of the building. They measured it as being only 5,000 square feet. So, over the history of this building, there hasn't been any motivation for many of the owners to, get that changed and increase their property taxes. But, if you do a title search on this, it does show a smaller footprint than what's actually measured. So we do have actual measurements in the brochure. If you were to look it up on LoopNet, or if anyone would like me to send it to them, I'm happy to do so. But that's just something to be aware of.
Okay, good. Yeah, that is a nice little SBA deal, so I'm sure that will sell. And what is the buy side fee?
So what the owner asked was that we just have brokers bring their fee. And so he understands that obviously your buyers are just going to reduce their price by, whatever percentage. And he just said that's kind of how he would prefer to manage it. So if you want 4 points, write it in, that's up to you and your buyer with whatever amount you'd like to ask.
Okay, perfect. All right, good deal. Anybody have any questions for Rose?
Rose, what's the parking like here?
There are currently 8 spaces in the back of the building. And you can also, like I said, if you would like to just scrape the unit in the back, you could probably add another 4 to 5 spaces that way. Or there's a possibility to rent spaces from the retail shopping center across the street to the tune of about $100 a space, just on a month-to-month basis.
And something just jumped into my mind regarding medical, and you think you can do medical and dental there?
I think the only possibility in my mind would be if you were to do, let's say, 1,000 square feet on the ground floor medical.
Right.
Maybe you even identify half of it as medical storage or something like that, just to keep your parking requirement a little lower. And then I probably would go ahead and scrape that back building, and you could the across the street, they're not going to give you like a long-term like covenant, but if you do the month-to-month spaces and just have it be employee parking, usually the city should be agreeable to that.
Right, right. No, that's a good call. Maybe a little dentist or something, plastic surgeon or whatever, but
Yeah.
all right, good stuff. Why don't we move on to the next one?
All right. So this is a deal that I have in El Monte. So for those of you that are familiar further out towards the San Gabriel Valley, it's an interesting backstory. If any of you have had any experience with the cannabis industry and know what's been going on in that industry recently, essentially that industry's faced some major headwinds recently. And so this particular owner was embedded with an operator who had plans to do a large scale development on this site. It was fully permitted for over 100,000 square feet of improvements. There's 2 existing buildings that are 40,000 square feet. And then the plan was to build an additional building there. And it would be only one of 4 locations that are licensed in the city. So if you did have anybody, in that industry who is looking to take on a larger project, this is a really phenomenal opportunity. But because of the cost of capital and because of, just sort of decreases in profits for various reasons, is that essentially we've sort of shifted gears on this. His operator left the project, and now we're targeting any number of potential redevelopment opportunities. It's zoned C3. The city of El Monte would absolutely love to see some kind of a retail redevelopment here. You can also do a multifamily redevelopment. You can do about 25 units an acre. We have 3.3 acres here. So, pretty sizable multifamily redevelopment opportunity. It is in an opportunity zone. So, excellent opportunity for people who are, targeting that type of investment opportunity, since it is a full redevelopment. They will not allow it to go back to industrial, though, which is unfortunate because the existing buildings, as you can see, do obviously lend themselves to a more industrial use. The city of El Monte said that they do not prefer to see another industrial development here. So we do need somebody who's looking to do more commercial. The owner is very motivated. He would love to see somebody with a short escrow. We have had offers from multifamily developers who would like a longer escrow, and he's held off on responding to them to see if we can find somebody who might do maybe like a 3 or 4 month escrow first. And that's basically the story. He is highly motivated.
Great. Well, that's another good opportunity for somebody, and can see you've got a nice buy side fee there.
Yes.
So why don't we move on to the next property?
Oh, that's me. How's it going, guys? Yeah, so this property, we could get it probably at a 6 cap, which is about 1.3. I mean, the value add here is once the lease comes up, the owner can raise their rents, a pretty significant amount. At 1.435, they could get it up to like 8, almost a 9 cap for today's market. And then there's a good value add component if you're to lease all the buildings out separately. It's one tenant right now, but there are 3 separate buildings on 2 separate APNs. So it's priced below user pricing, and then you could go in there and raise the rents when the current tenant expires.
Good. Yeah, that's an interesting opportunity, and we can see your contact info. If anybody have any questions for Bentley?
No.
All right, let's
Thank you for
move
sharing.
on. Yeah,
Ilan.
Can you guys hear me?
yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you fine. Now you're muted, Elon. or yeah, Elon, you're muted. There you go.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I was late. So this is a commercial condo unit that historically has been utilized by various restaurateurs over the years. Pitfire Pizza had a run at it for about a decade, and then it was purchased by an owner user, and since then at least out. So at this stage, the tenant that was there most recently vacated. COVID definitely took its toll on downtown LA. So we took it to market both for lease and for sale. And I'm assuming we're just going to discuss the sale here. But it could lend itself really to any owner user. Doesn't necessarily have to be a restaurant. And or it could work for an investor. We've had interest from various parties that want to lease it out. We think that a target rent that is reasonable, what's going on in the area, is about $3 a foot. So based on that pro forma and projected income, you're looking about roughly a 5.5 cap. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but that's kind of what you can target. Also would be a great SBA candidate type of transaction. So, that's kind of the focus. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
What's the main cross streets in the area there?
Oh, here we go. Second and Main. It sits directly across the street from the Viviana event space, and located in very close proximity to all the government agencies in downtown LA.
Okay, great. Well, that's a good property and appreciate your presentation there.
Sure.
All right, we have Danny and William. They're here on the call. If not, we can send out this information. Michael. I'm not sure if we have them here on the call. Keep going. Keep going. David Mayer and Jack.
Yeah, I'm here.
There we go. Jack.
Hey guys.
Morning.
So
morning.
yeah, morning. So wanted to present this deal to you guys. It's a prime medical / regular office building in Granada Hills. We had it under contract with an exchange buyer, and that fell through. The guy came across some health problems last minute, and one of his exchange properties fell through. So we're bringing it back to market. It's definitely a value add play, and you can go a lot of different directions. Right now, it's currently about 66% occupied. And we have, there's a few pieces with this deal, with one of the bigger tenants being the county of LA, and Kaiser. We've heard that they're gonna plan on exercising their option to extend, which is gonna be about 3 years. And the county of LA is really, really anxious to get a deal done. Right now, they're on a month-to-month, and that accounts for about 26,000 square foot of the building. So there's some opportunities either to negotiate with them, or if you're looking for an owner user opportunity, then basically give them notice to terminate and just take over the entire building. On a value add play, I mean, there's just tremendous opportunity, because right now it's about NOI is about 550 in place on 66% occupancy, and that can literally be doubled just with the LOIs and the extensions that we have on the table. Or again, look at it as an owner user opportunity. So it's one building, and then on a separate parcel, there's a parking structure which has about 278 spots. So it's going to be, I mean, I think it's an amazing opportunity, and it's going to sell. It's just depending on the right structure or the right buyer.
Awesome.
Good. Yeah, no, that's a great building.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we don't see opportunities like this, especially for a medical type office building, which this is. It's just, it's.
I think you went on mute.
I think you might have gone back on mute, but I think we were done anyways. Let's move on. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
But I think we have Becky now. Okay, so let's move on.
All right, Corey.
That's me. Thanks, Francisco. Thanks, Jeff. This is pretty simple. An owner user opportunity at 3630 East Colorado Boulevard in Pasadena. This is actually in unincorporated LA County. So it's got an MXD zoning. You could use it for industrial office, medical office, or retail, even restaurant, although I don't know that the parking will support it. It's got about 4 parking spaces up front and 3 in the back that they currently use for some commercial trucks. It's 2 separate buildings totaling about 3,586 square feet. The front building has a commercial kitchen in it. It's about 1,700 square feet of commercial kitchen. The current owners, they've had it for about 30 years, and they operate a catering business out of there. And they decided to retire. They decided sometime last year actually to retire, but on came a wave of events that they hadn't experienced in a while, so they wanted to capitalize on that. So as we're coming out of the event season, the plan is to go on market likely next month. This is currently an off-market opportunity, and they may be willing to lease it. Ideally, it's a sale. The price, let's say, is officially withheld, but they're probably sellers at somewhere between 2.8 and 2.9 million. So that's just under 800 a foot, which is these days is getting to be pretty consistent with Pasadena prices. I don't know, and actually it occurred to me while listening to some of the others, if they'd be willing to finance, and they might. I'm going to have that conversation with them here shortly. But it's a great opportunity on Colorado Boulevard, east side of Pasadena. They just opened an Amazon Fresh 3 blocks away from there. It opened last week on Thursday. They've got within half a mile of this property about 500 to 700 units of multifamily slated for development. One of those projects already started about 3 blocks away from there. They're probably going to be done in the next couple of months. And it's very near Whole Foods shopping. It's starting to come up this east side of Pasadena, and right off the 210 freeway. Ideally, I think it's an opportunity for just a small industrial user. The back building, which is about 1,400 square feet, it is permitted. When they bought the building, it used to be attached. So they went ahead and detached that back building so they could get their larger commercial trucks back there. But so that is permitted. So at the moment, if anybody's got any interest in taking a look at it, they are willing to tour it, of course, even while it's off market. But we'll be aggressively marketing this thing come next month.
What's the pricing, Corey?
I think that they're sellers between 2.8 and 2.9.
Okay. All right, good.
Pretty consistent with what's going on out here. but they this mom and pop, they're very pragmatic, and they're happy to talk. You know, if a buyer comes in with some reasonable reasons to consider different pricing, they might. But now's the time for that.
Yeah, it looks like a good little deal.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Thank you.
Hey, Greater LA, how you doing?
Good morning, Adam.
Good, Adam.
All right. Well, I'm calling from the Orange County area. Still working on my CCIM, but I'm getting there. I've been a broker for 27 years, mostly residential, which is how I got this property here, and I'm starting to transition more and more over the past few years into some commercial. So we have a bit far out of the range, but San Diego. It's called Ocean View Village. It actually does have ocean views. It is a 5.58 parcel of land already entitled for 143 units. The owner bought it about 5 years ago. I was getting ready to do something big, but then COVID hit, decided to sit on it for a while. Now it's like, okay, it's a good time to get it sold. He's got other plans to do with his money. He'd rather liquidate the property. It's currently ready to go for 173 square feet of living space. So obviously we're looking for a builder developer. Current other builders in the area are Pardee. TriPoint has an active, not online yet. Models aren't ready yet, but they've got another building project out there as well. Lennar, Shea, they've all built in the area. And there are actually ocean view lots. And as you can see on the projection or the elevation here on this little picture here, there's on 3 sides, it actually has views. So there's some, lot view opportunities for the end, buyer at that point. These could be actually either, living units as far as sold for an end user and or actually for rental units. So the city's deemed them either way. It's set up right now as 13 detached homes, 24 townhomes, and 103 condos. So there you go. Looking for projected end value. Actually, let me tell you that. It's probably a good number to have. It's about $80 million once it's all built out.
Nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
good stuff. If anybody's got any developers, reach out to Adam.
Let me know. Thanks, guys.
Thank
sir.
you. All right, who do we have next?
No, there you go. That ends it for today, ladies and gentlemen. And first of all, we want to say thank you to all the presenters who are coming on today, sharing their listings and giving us feedback. And for those of you who have listings that are coming up, please send them to DJ and our team. We for those of you who are new to the group or are new presenting, we reach out to our chapter. We're reaching out to folks with listings, and we're trying to expose everybody to everything that's out there in our area. And we welcome everybody's participation, attendance. Come check it out. The great thing too is that we also record every one of these, so they're going to be on YouTube. You're going to see a live stream, and you guys can be a part of our chapter. Encourage you guys all to again, the next one, October 19th. We will send out more information about the in-person as we get closer. But again, we do have the area of Pasadena that we've identified, and we'll be able to send out venue details. So again, for those of you who would like to participate in some of the in volunteering to help put that together, we welcome volunteers, and we ask that we get some participation and see how we can make this broker forum very helpful. So So any feedback is also welcome. And Jeff, do you have any other closing remarks?
No, I just want to thank our sponsors. You can see we're starting to get a lot more support. Without our sponsors, we couldn't do this. So please patronize the sponsors. And I wish you all a good month. Look for our next event to be in person at the University Club in Pasadena, and as well as live streaming. So we'll send more details on that plan as we move forward through the month. So make it a good month and
have a great rest of your day.
Deals.
Exactly. Great meeting you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.